never done the exam, like, you know. I was going to do it, and I thought, well, I don't know, you know. I'll stay on here, like, and I stayed on here, and then everybody went on to amateur radio, and it went dead. So I thought, oh, well, put it all in the cupboard. And then it all started coming back alive again, and it all came out the cupboard. So, yeah. But now I've used it, but I've never actually bought anything. Because, you know, closest one I got is a Lincoln to anything like that.
Yeah, you seen the photo I put up, didn't you? My AHF gear. I mean, I've got none of that left now. That's all gone. That's nearly, well, about 7 or 8 grand's worth of bloody kit on that bench.
Good fella. Yeah, it's nice setup. You didn't have no hair. I mean, yeah, you had hair back then there, Steve. And no beard. I thought, God, didn't he young?
Yeah, that's quite a while back now with that one.
I put the squelch on.
Well, most of the kit you sent at mine, Bruce, I've only acquired again this year. Well, apart from this radio, I've had this for a while. I never got rid of this, but I know I got rid of all the other radio stuff about 2 years ago. Sold it all on, everything. And Sunday, what you see here, I built up this year again, but this one's been here a while.
You got a nice radio there, Steve. Well, nice setup, you know, nice radios.
Nice sound.
Yeah, that Kenwood, good. I bet you're glad you didn't sell that one. That was a good radio, that. My cat. I should take a photo of him. I'll take a photo of him and I'll send it. He's lying on his back with his legs up in the air. This stupid thing. Purring away.
Yeah, my older cat, the two, she's just gone out now. It's quite mild out there now. It stopped raining, but she went out. Little one's asleep on the laptop still. And, well, he is awake, his tail's wagging, he can hear me talking about him. But yeah, they're all settled down now. Well, she's out, she'll be back in about an hour or so. She'll mooch around for a bit.
Oh, he's fast asleep. He's fast asleep. Oh, that's not a very good picture. I'll take another one. Yeah, he's fast asleep there. Stupid cat. He's fast asleep with his legs all up in the air.
Ideal, mate. Yeah, take it back one hours there, Bruce. I'm not sure. Somebody called in under you about 2 overs back, and not sure it was. It may have been Steve. It could have been Gary. Somebody come in underneath here. It might be someone else. I'm not sure. So back to you, Bruce. See you later.
Anybody on the side? Is that you, Steve, Gary?
No, it wasn't me, mate. I was just listening to Made here on 80 metre band here. I was going to give him a shout in Switzerland. He's running a kilowatt.
Yeah, that's some power, isn't it?
Yeah, compared to my 10 watt. Yeah, so I could probably do it, like, I just checked the score, like, and it's saying 1. So it's tuned into it, like, you know, he's only top for the 40 metre, but I've tuned into a 1-to-1 there, so that's good. But yeah, I'd make him a shout. He hit me 5 to 7 like from Switzerland on a wire.
And then give him a shout.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it. It's a bit late, isn't it?
Give him a shout.
It is, isn't it? It's getting on there. Coming up to 12 o'clock.
Yeah, the band's opened up here. It's good signals coming around, all on 3.611 up to 3.634. So yeah, there's quite a few on there, like. Yeah, I'm going to have a little earwig on there a minute. You take it back, mate, and I'll come back in a minute.
Okay. All right, no worries, Steve. Yeah, Steve, I'll send you a picture of my cat. You'll laugh. I sent one to Gary. I bet he's laughing.
Yeah, I'll have a look in a minute, Bruce. Just rolling a cig in a minute. Hang on.
Yeah, Bruce, come back.
You see the cat?
I'm recording at the moment, so I can't look at my phone.
You see the cat I sent you? The most docile cat. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I've got to go shopping tomorrow, do a bit of shopping, get some electric, get a bit of fuel as well maybe. I think I'm alright for fuel actually. I must do a shopping list.
Been anywhere, Bruce?
Get a few bits tomorrow. And then I'll be on in the morning then. I said Terry I won't be on early, so I'll be out to the shop like.
What time's Terry usually on then?
I usually about 9, half past 9, 10 o'clock. Yeah, he's always on there. He usually shouts to me about 9ish, like.
Is he not on tonight then?
He was in bed. I see he was in bed about 9 o'clock.
Alright.
He's up 4 o'clock in the morning.
Has he got work tomorrow, is he?
Yeah, it's Monday, isn't it?
I don't know what day it is, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, as far as I know, he said he's working, so I presume he's working. Yeah, Monday. Yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning is his time to get out of bed. So he usually goes to bed about 8, 9 o'clock.
Wow. Yeah, he's better man than me.
He's doing, I tell you. I go on the line, I find it bloody hard. In fact, I usually stay up. So I think, Christ, I get so worried about getting up in the morning. I remember I turned up, I went down there, and he was just going to bed. I said, oh, come to go to work. He said, oh, we're going to bed. I said, oh, that's all right, I'll just sit on the chair here and doze off. Give me a shout when you're going to work.
Do you ride with Terry then, do you?
I used to ride with him a lot. Yeah, you want to go? It's just great fun. Go around to all the quarries, down to the boat there, down Padstow, load up with sand. It's great fun.
Cool, I haven't been in a wagon for... Can't remember the last time I drove a wagon, actually. I think it was for Trewithen Dairies I drove a wagon for last.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I used to ride with Terry a lot. Went for him on and off for quite a few years, like, and then I haven't been for a long time now. I haven't been in this Arctic. I have been in the Arctic, but not the new one he's got. It's 560 horsepower, that engine in that Arctic. 4 miles to the gallon.
What is it?
Arctic.
Yeah, but what make?
Iveco?
Iveco, yeah, cool. So it's Ford then.
Yeah, it's a big lorry. You not seen the photos?
No, I've been recording most of the evening, so I haven't had a chance to check. I approved someone earlier on the Facebook group, but that's about it.
Who was that? Anyone we know?
Oh, I ain't got a clue.
Okay, mate. Yeah. I can't find Steve on there. Should be on there. Yeah, oh well. Yeah, I took another video of me talking to Terry going from Weybridge to Camelford. And that's on Steve's site there. So you have to have a look. There's pictures of his lorry and pictures of my aerial.
Yeah, I did see the pictures of your aerial. I don't remember seeing the ones. Maybe they didn't all upload together. Maybe I just missed it, or maybe I just didn't scroll all the way through it. But I did see the pictures of your aerial. I thought, how many strands has he got on here? It looks like Batman's bloody... Not Batman. Batman doesn't make spider webs, does he? Spider-Man does. It looks like Spider-Man's bloody camp out light.
Yeah, there's a lot of ropes on there. But don't forget, that's got to stay up. That's why it's like that. I got ropes pulling all different directions. East, west, north, south, you know. Sort of keeping it all up like. It's like 50 foot high, so it's got to stay up.
Yeah, so how are you pinning that into the ground then? So what is it? What aerial are you running? What are you using to hold it up, and what are you holding it in the ground with? The guide ropes.
It's clamped to the wooden big post with scaffold clamps, and it's in the ground about a foot. And then the bottom's all fixed, and the top has got 12 big fishing net ropes on them, the big ropes.
And what are you running?
A Serio 827. I thought you knew that.
Yeah, I did know that. Yes, I did know that. Right, so have you lost it at all? Has it ever come down yet?
No. I did lose one aerial,
that, Bruce, didn't you?
and that was
Nope.
About 2 years ago. We had a massive storm, which was, they were peaking about 70, 75 mile an hour.
What?
And the middle section broke. And it stood up there for 5 years previous, though. So they're really, really hard aerial. They're really well built. The Serio 827.
Excellent. So what is it? You got ground pins in the ground, and you just go around every so often and tighten it up, or have you got like a carabiner set up at the bottom? How are you tightening up the lines and making sure it's all taut?
I check the ropes every so often. On a calm day, I go out and check the ropes, and if they're a bit slack, I just undo them and then tighten them up a bit, like. But yeah, it's stood up there for I don't know, 2 years now, 3 years. 2 years since I've taken it down. I haven't taken it down. I've got to put some new coax on it next year, so it'll be coming down then, and it'll have a good service, clean all the connections and re-tape everything and do everything like. But no, it's not come down for at least 2 years.
Awesome. Can I just take it back to Steve there a minute, Bruce?
Carry on.
Yeah, Steve, copy?
Yeah, got you, mate.
Yeah, so what aerial are you running, and what's holding it up?
At the moment, I'm running a IMAX 2000, courtesy of Bruce. Well, the bottom section courtesy of Bruce, because my original one snapped in the winds, but he's about 25-year-old. Well, the top section and the middle section is. I'm not sure how old the bottom section is. I don't know how long Bruce has had it, but the original one, it broke in the winds here, and I acquired the bottom section off of Bruce. He had a spare one, and he's on a fiberglass pole tied to a fence post. Well, it's not actually. It's tied to a metal cage that we store the gas bottles in down here. And it's just a fiberglass. Well, I think it's a boat mast off a small sailing boat, but it's tubular fiberglass, but it's pretty thick walled stuff, really strong. And it's about 12 foot long, so it's about 12 foot off the ground to the base of the antenna. And then you've got the antenna itself, 21 foot long. So it's not very high, but I have got a 20 foot mast which as soon as the weather gets better is going up on top of there. So he should be up at around 35 feet eventually to the base of it, and then we should see some vast improvements.
So do you think that your lack of height is contributing to your noise?
Possibly, but I don't normally get noise on a scale like most of the other people get. I used to. I'm just going to dekey a second. Don't come back a minute. I just want to see what my meter is reading at the moment. Nothing. My meter's dropping right back to nothing here. I was getting crackle coming in with Andy, but he's a low signal to me. He only comes in on about an S2 to 3. I was getting lots of crackle and pop with him. And whether matey over the way's turned his Christmas tree lights off, I don't know. But the minute my meter's dropping back to nothing, and I don't suffer with it. 2 years ago, plus 30 everywhere, couldn't use the radio, and then it suddenly went, and it all's been well since. So yeah, I sold everything up and had 2 years of continuous bloody noise, so I got rid of everything, and like I say, I only just come back on this year.
Ideal. So you literally like dropped it all and then picked it up again. So why did you pick it up again? What made you pick it up again?
Well, I got rid of everything, sold the big, I had a big 827 Stereo up here, because I brought a new one of those when the IMAX broke first time round, and then I had a fair selection of sideband radios, and I had this radio here, which I use on the amateur bands, and because of the noise I couldn't use this, couldn't use anything really, and I just decided enough's enough, sold the lot, kept this one back, and let it go for a bit, you know. I thought one day I'll build a little wire homebrew antenna for these frequencies and see what happens. Put it up and the noise had gone, so I started building the station back up again then.
Oh, so like where Bruce was saying earlier that he literally had lack of contacts because everybody had moved to amateur radio. You were suffering with noise, so there's two different scenarios there really, isn't it? It was like a change in times and just pure annoyance on your side. So what was I going to say? So what's the draw of ham radio? I don't understand, because I'm a novice obviously to CB and ham. You know, you keep mentioning this licensing. What sort of license is this? What have I got to do? Take a test? Have I got to speak to someone on the radio correctly before I pass this test, or what?
Well, basically in the UK it's a three-tiered licensing system. You got what they call the foundation license, which is the entry-level one, where you just basically, well, in normal times, not now, we're in this bloody coronavirus bloody farce that's going on, but in normal times, if you wanted to get an amateur license, you'd engage with a radio club that was running courses for the said license, i.e. the foundation license, which is the entry-level one, and you'll go on, well, when I did mine, it was a 2-day course over a weekend, and at the end of on the Sunday evening, at the end of the course there, you get like a questionnaire sheet and you answer the questions. But you go and take the course over 2 days and they explain the ins and outs of everything, and they'll drum it into you, and basically it was easy. It was literally easy. If you've been on radio a while, it was easy. There's 8 and 9, 10-year-old kids taking it and passing. Right. It may have changed now, because bearing in mind I did mine in the early to mid-90s I got mine. But now with COVID and that, it's an online course. You need to enrol on it. I think you pay a little fee to do it, and then you do your studying. Steve would be the one to talk about that because he did it online this year. And then at the end of it, you get your license and you get all of HF, but you're restricted power-wise to 10 watts. But on that HF band, it's not like CB where there's no one to talk to. There's always someone on there, and you can get a lot further with your 10 watts, and there's more variety, and it's just different, Gary. It's hard to explain it on here, but personally, although I don't use it that much now, I can drop back on there whenever. It's just I've been off it for so long, I ain't really got back into it this year. But I mean, the difference being is I could be here on this radio with a length of wire strung out across the site where I am. Key the radio up, I can talk to my best mate up in Norfolk like I'm talking to you.
Oh. So, transmit and receive is a massive difference then. I mean, you said we're restricted to 10 watts, doesn't sound like a lot, for obvious reasons. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just vastly, it's a fair bit different to these bands, put it that way, but I'd advise anyone with an interest to go for it. Don't be scared of it, because it's not difficult. It isn't difficult. It gets more difficult as you progress. The next exam's a bit more intense, and then the full license, the main one, that's quite a feat, that one. That is a bit, take a lot of studying for that, but it's doable, you know. But the entry level license, which gives you 10 watts output and all the bands that the big boys use, but you're restricted by power. The intermediate license, which is the next one, yes, they ask you more questions, you've got to know a bit more, and you've got to build like electrical projects and show that you understand and you can construct something that will work and explain how it works. It's a bit more involved on the intermediate exam. And the only difference is you've already got all the frequencies, but you've got 50 watts output. That's all the difference is. You can run them with 50 watts as opposed to 10 watts. And the exam's a bit harder, obviously. You've got to prove that you know more. And if you take the main license, which is really intense, you get a grand old total of 400 watts you can run. But it's quite an in-depth exam, the main one. But if you work at it and plough through it and study it and really get into it, it shouldn't be too difficult there to get the full license. Also, they tell me, I haven't took it. I took the first one and stuck with it. And I find I can do what I want to do with it, you know. I'm contemplating doing the intermediate once this bloody lockdown crap and everything finishes, and see where we are with that, and then if it opens up again, I'll do it. I don't fancy doing an online course. I'd rather go and do it in like in a normal environment where you can go and join up to a group and do it in that environment, not sit on a bloody computer and trying to learn it, which I think is far better how it used to be before all this kicked off. But there we are, Gary. That's about it in a nutshell. Full licensees can run 400 watts. Intermediate licensees, they're allowed 50 watts, and foundation licensees, like the easy entry exam, you're allowed 10 watts once you got that.
Excellent, Steve, excellent. I think I might take the intermediate thing. I think I'm interested in that as well. You know, I don't even know if the rig I've got now runs that. I haven't got a clue. And if I have to get something else, then I will. But yeah, ideal, nice one for that. That'll clarify a few things for a few people, I'm sure. yeah, take it back to Bruse there for a minute, or make a brew, everybody, or take 5, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, quickly there, Gary. The radios are far more expensive than your average 11 metre rig. But at the end of the day, 11 metre radio is an amateur radio anyway. Although it's used on these bands, it shouldn't be, but it should be a 10 metre radio. But everyone uses them. Yeah. But then again, there's second-hand HF radios out there, but it's a different ball game running something like this as opposed to something like you're on there. But once you know your way around the radio, you'll grasp it. But it gets expensive. You can throw a lot of money into your equipment, or you can pick up second-hand and get on the air quite cheaply. It depends how far you want to go into it and what sort of kit you want to run. I mean, modern radio today, you're talking well over £1,000 for a mediocre radio, not a flagship top-notch one, sort of mediocre entry level. It's going to be over £1,000 for sure.
Sorry, I'm still picking my jaw up off the floor. Yeah, I'm not going to jump into it. I will do a lot of research on it. You know, obviously, what you've just said has sparked my interest just because it's something else. You know, but yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, what sort of signal rating can you hear these people like I'm hearing you now? I mean, obviously not as clear as I hear Brucey. I mean, Bruce blows my windows out. That man literally is like sitting in my back garden on a rig here. But yeah, I mean, what sort of signal are we talking here? Is it good? Is it a mixture? What is it?
Well, like I say, I used to run a wire antenna here, and then we go down on with what they call top band, which is very, very low frequencies. It's 1.9 megahertz, and we're right up here on 27, so it's right down the bottom end of the amateur radio spectrum. And because it's such a low frequency, you need a big antenna for it, or a long antenna, electrically length of it. So it's a big long wire to get that low. And like I say, 10 watts from here, on that band of an evening, I could talk to my mate up in Norfolk and up in Yorkshire and up and around Scotland. We used to have a net in the evenings like that, and we'd be all over the country, and we'd be talking like we're talking here now.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That does sound good. Does really sound good.
Yeah, but a lot of it depends on conditions. I mean, the most important part of a radio station is the antenna at the end of the day. You can have any sort of radio, and if the antenna ain't right, it ain't gonna happen. But I used to make my own wire antennas, and I've been quite fortunate. I've only got a very small plot here, Bruce will tell you. But like I say, I can get an antenna to work. Well, that one I had then would work on every band, and you can make contacts all over the world on the damn thing. But unfortunately, it took a whack. Before I got the noise, it came down in the wind, and I never put it back up because I was getting horrendous interference here and give up with it. But before all that kicked off, every night of the week I'll be on there talking to friends up country, just like we do here, without any issues. And then the noise came in, and then that put pay to it all because I was getting 30 plus of bloody crap continuous, and it just killed it. But yeah, it's very interesting there, Gary. Like I say, Nick, the other moderator on the group, he came in like you, totally green, just before lockdown. He came to me and said he joined the group, he didn't know nothing. He wanted to get a sidebander like you got there, and they asked my advice on it.
Yeah.
And he located a Ranger, which is a
Nice.
bit more upmarket rig than the one you got there.
Well, thanks, Steve.
and he was going to buy the rig, and he posted the comment. He didn't know me from Adam. He just joined the group and asked about the Ranger, and I went back to him. Said to him, yeah, good radio, worth the money, blah de blah, because he didn't know nothing. And then he messaged me back the next day and said, oh, the guy sold it. But he got it lined up, but the guy had sold it. And I said, well, if you're really interested, I put him onto the rig that I got here, not this one, another one I got here. One of those, he brought that, and he took off. He started getting on DXing on here, bearing in mind it was the right time of year through the summer. I'm going to DK a minute because it's getting a bit warm, hang on. That's it, my fans cutting in now, that's good. He got into it in a big way, put an antenna up, nothing special, just a little homemade TL2 antenna, threw it up in a tree, and he was DXing, talking all over Europe, which we, like I said to you the other day, we can do it in the summertime. When the skip's there, you can do it. And he really got the bug of DXing, and I invited him up here, showed him some kit and that, and we chatted and that. I explained him about aerials and bits and pieces, try and help him out, and then we became good friends. But obviously, unfortunately, I can't hear him down home from here. And went on for a little while. He's working European stations, getting back to him, getting contacts, loving it. And then within a couple of weeks of that, he turned around and said, I'm going to take my foundation licence, and now he's a licensed ham. And he's just now got himself set up with an HF radio. He passed his exam, did the online course, and totally loving it. He's got a logbook with about 35 different countries confirmed in it, and he's only been licensed about 2 or 3 months. Same with Steve, he did exactly the same. He was on the radio here and decided he's going to take the AM licence, sat the exam, passed, and now he's talking all over the world. He's just like Nick there. They're both having really good results. They've got themselves some good equipment, and they're talking all over the world.
So equipment matters. It's all down to equipment at the end of the day.
Well, not exactly. I mean, you ain't got to buy out the latest and greatest and whatever. I mean, amateur radio gear, some of the old kit is really good. I mean, Steve's radio has got to be 45-year-old, and it works the world. And a wire antenna where you can make your own very cheaply, or you can buy one. It'll be dearer if you buy a made one, but if you know what you're doing, make your own and just make it work, and it's all doable.
Sounds like a plan for the future. Right, I think we've hogged the mic enough. Is anybody else out there? Is Bruce out there? You still out there, Bruce? You've fallen asleep listening to us, Per.
Yeah, I was listening there. Yeah, it is interesting, but it is big money. You get into it, like you say, Steve, you buy the radio, which costs a lot, and then you've got to get all the aerials and the different beams and that. Depends on what band you go on, you know? You've got different aerials for different frequencies, like different beams. Yeah, you have to come down and have a look at Terry's setup. He's a full ham, he is. He's taken he'll tell you about the test, because he's taken the full test.
What?
And he said it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to pull the plug here. It's 20 past 12, so
What?
I'll probably catch you all on in the morning, alright?
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Yeah, okay, Bruce, all the best, mate.
Yeah, alright, Bruce. Yeah, good night there. I'm going to clear as well. Steve, nice one for that. I've recorded all that. I'll bung that up tonight. You can have a watch. You yourself. FM is clear as a bell. Bruce, you know you're clear as a bell there. You can probably hear yourself from here.
This is clear tonight. Lovely and clear now.
Roger. I'm going to clear. Have a good night. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Bruce. Speak tomorrow.
Yeah, cheers, Gary. I'll go have a look at the vids in a bit. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Yeah, Stevie, I'm going to pull the plug as well here, mate. We'll catch up tomorrow evening, yeah? Okie doke, nothing heard. Right, catch you all later.